Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM20. It's Women's Tour. We're on episode 31. Last time I said we were going to start with the Cascade Cycling Classic, my home race, so it's one of my favorites. But uh, I looked at the roster, and it's basically the same riders that I had last time. In all, we have about 9 American riders on the roster. I took 7 last time, and I was taking the other 2 plus 5 of the others, so, mostly the same squad. And figured, you know what, we don't need to suffer through that a second time in a row. So we move on. We're at the Sport Women's Tour. Sobi is here, and that burned a lot of energy doing that climb. We'll see how much she can recover on the descent to come and whether we've gone out a bit too hard. She's a good climber, but she's not a good time trialist. Though today is a day where she's looking relatively okay, and actually looks like a 76. That descent is long enough that you recover quite a bit. So she pushes for the line. Should be a good time. Second, just 3 seconds off. So it looks like a 77 is probably doable throughout. So we'll send Cynthia Marie on that one. Mamalenti, Donadin, Bravich, Vanderpeet are the ones that are here. So I was thinking about something. It's looking like Donadin and Vanderpeet are going to be impossible to sign. Impossible because we don't have the points. Now, in terms of how a team builds reputation, I figure that's success in races. Now, until this season, we only had a total of maybe 3 wins in the whole career of our team. So they were very low-level races. They were generally stages. So there was no reason to believe that we would actually do something, This season, we have 7 victories. So it's like, oh, we have some reputation now. I'm hoping, since at this point there's no way to sign riders, I'm hoping that determination and why the points are so expensive for us still is because all the victories we're taking this season aren't going to actually impact us in a positive way until next season. Now, of course, for re-signing Vanderpeet and Donadin, which Donadin's a 75 now, by the way. Vanderpeet a 76. Everybody else is 70 and below. It's not a good sign for us that we're going to lose those two. Both of them with the expiring contracts, and that just sucks because we're going to go right back to struggling. Of course, we have new riders coming in, and they'll get their chance, and they'll do what they can. And, Vanderpeet, come on. -3 for Vanderpeet. I'll have to try to keep it down at a 76 here for a bit. Now let's go ahead and up it to the 77 as we hit the climb here. First checkpoint. Coming up. Third, just 3 seconds off the pace. Sobi is still in 4th place, by the way. Donadin is also in the top 10. So definitely putting together a decent time. And looks like, 77. Okay, to the finish. 4th place, 5 seconds off. Okay, that's good. That's good. That could have been much better, obviously, but with a -3 race day condition, that could have been much worse. Just 6 seconds off. So, yeah, I'll take that. We're on to stage 2. It's a punchy one. There's a climb before the finish, and then the finish itself is a gentle uphill slope. It's definitely going to leave a lot of sprinters behind given time. Now, I've got 3 riders in the top 10 right now, so we're in a very good position as we head into this climb before the finishing climb. And I do like our chances of being able to still be there, but I don't know how diminished the field might be. It should eliminate at least a couple riders of the current top 10 anyway, and so we'll scoot up slightly in the standings, I would imagine. 25k to go, and this climb is doing a little more damage than I expected. Now, the field is not split at all currently as we approach the top, but you can see that there are going to be riders that get dropped here in just a moment. And the climb to come is going to do something similar with that. And then we're under 70. Still 3 riders away, but they're all just right there in sight. 17K now. We're going to take to the front. And we're going to take control of this one and hopefully do something with it. Donadin, unfortunately, on a -3. Vanderpeet, who is on a fitness peak. Yeah, fitness peak. And she had a -3 yesterday, just a +1 today. So yesterday was a -5. Today was a -1. So she's a net -6 so far in this race. So, she's doing real well. Sobi should be ahead. She's actually ahead in the standings as well. She's 7th. Donadin's 10th. Marie woke up sick this morning, so that's not helping. Alright, we're on the flat through here. She's got a good flat rating. Oop, not flat through here. That's setting us back a little bit, Marie. I thought we were only about 2, but it's 4 degrees, so...
The finish line is getting close. The riders have just passed the 15 kilometers road sign. That's the
but
end
this
of
is
the
not the
breakaway.
section.
The pack
You
gave them
see,
no chance.
that little push is going to waste some energy for those riders and really not impact things much. We're going to come out of this one in fairly good shape, going forward, going across the flat, merging at the front, and probably fresher than that little group of riders that made that push.
Whoa, the pack is quick in the pace.
Okay, Bravich, onto you. I'll let that go a little bit long there. That's okay. Everybody's at the front, right where I want them to be. 10K to go.
The finish line is getting
Valenti.
close. The riders just passed the 10 kilometers road sign.
Bravich, just push because we're starting to climb, and that was your purpose. Okay, Mamalenti is very, very quick on hills, but if we go too hard, that's going to be much too much. In fact, what I want to do now is let's go ahead and just get into Donadin, who is going to go flat out for a little bit here. Raja, yeah, that's not a threat. Gunning,
Attack with the finishing
much
line
of a
within
threat.
reach.
Still 6K away, so this is not need for a big push. But Donadin, try to get onto the back if you can. .7 down to 50 riders. Down to 45. We're going to see that
riders are
group
entering the
diminish
last 5
very,
kilometers
very
of the
quickly now.
stage.
4K to go. Donadin's going to start fading in a moment. Here's the next attack. With an actual lead out. Good for them. 3K to go. Oof. Valenti gets blocked off, but we're going to come through in just a second. And now onto
Another
Sobi.
attack. This time it
1.5K.
could
That's a
go
little too
all
close to
the
the end
way.
here.
There goes the sprint. The strong men
What
are
is-
giving their all.
I thought I had 1.5K to go. I thought I had 1.5K to go. That is so my bad. Sobi
Great
might
stuff.
get third here.
Teamwork really paid
She
off, and their sprinter brings home
Yeah,
the bacon.
I misread that. I thought we had 1.5K to go. Or 1.6. It was 0.6. Eyes deceived me. I was still managing my riders and still focused on that. And we could have gone deeper, farther into that one.
The tail enders are still coming in.
Still, we're there in a small group at the finish. That will greatly diminish. Well, we'll see what the gaps are that are given, but that's going to shrink the field down quite
And
a
just
bit,
in
and
case
that'll
you
screw
missed
us up the
them, here are the
standings.
race highlights.
But we could have done more. We did pick up 4 seconds. Just 19 riders. Okay, 19 riders. Donadin was not among them. Mamaleti was not either. Okay, so now still sitting in 4th and 6th. So we only moved up 1 spot. But it did open the field quite a bit. I mean, what you're looking at here is limited contenders. I'd say probably just the top 6. 47 seconds after that. Following a sprint stage on stage 3, this final 4th stage is it's punchy. There's 3 climbs. This first one shouldn't be much to worry about, and then the last 2 I absolutely had the intention of going for it. You can see there's already only 64 in the peloton, and Donadin is not in the peloton. She was in a crash. Half a dozen other riders, and by the time they got up and got moving again, they were 3 minutes behind. They've stayed 3 minutes behind. Donadin expended a lot of energy trying to keep her position. Another crash dropped another group, and then just the pace has been pretty relentless today. And that pace has destroyed a handful of riders as well. So with the breakaway now caught, there are 76 riders here in the peloton, and the gaps behind are only getting bigger, not smaller. So goodbye Donadin, and Bravich and Marie might not even make it through this climb, though the pace seems to have lifted a little bit. It's the next 2 climbs where I want to make something happen. This is not really the climb to do that, so for now we just try to hang on. Alright, we go over the top. Ooh, another group breaks off. That's, oh, dang. For a second I would have been really happy with about 40 going forward. Back to 64 though. Sprint point coming up. Not interested, though part of me wants to be. Focus more on the stage. That's where the time gains are going to be had, or lost for that matter. Alright, still just the 64 riders. 37k to go. It's a little late for water, but it's a small peloton. Can you get it fast? Come on, come on. Oof, what just happened there, Bravich?
This climb is feared by many riders. The percentages
are
very high.
Maybe 4 bike links in front of her, a big split there for just a moment, and the whole group kind of had to brake to avoid crashing, is what it looked like. Bravich has already failed on the water task, so we'll have to reset the others to have a go on the second climb. Marie is struggling, going backwards, so Mama Lenti needs to up the pace because you're going to lead this thing out for Sophie and Vanderpeet. Down to 33. Bravich was dropped. Marie is still there. Marie is dropped. Okay, it's downhill, so it's fine. Mama Lenti, you can try to scoot forward. Alright, now Mama Lenti is punchy. That is her strength. I don't want to turn it on yet, though. It's still 5k to go to the top. We'll go at about
the riders are in a portion above 10%.
3.5, or just 4. Let's do it. 95. Open it up, make it difficult. Punchy speed is an 80. It's doing some serious damage, and we split it off to 4 riders. Who's with us? Mouse. Three riders chasing. This is what I was going for. Mama Lenti's pace was too much for everyone else behind. They get split off. We're down to 2k. We will recover on the descent and be able to go on. I don't care if Mouse ends up winning the stage. This is an ideal scenario if we can finish this thing off. Mama Lenti nearly out of energy. Try to hang on, but I think she's about to get dropped.
Team leader is falling behind.
Yep, down to 3. That's okay. That's okay. Alright. Sobi does not have the energy, but is going to recover a little bit. We've got to try to stay ahead of the groups that are following.
There are just 15 kilometers left.
Vanderpeet's recovering. Mouse is 5th place, 27 seconds. Vanderpeet is ahead of her by 1 second, but of course with time bonuses. If we were to stay 1, 2, 3, which I'm guessing probably at this point we're not going to be able to do that, because the rider right behind us is about to latch on. It's Rodriguez.
Only 10 kilometers left.
They're only 12th overall. I'm okay with that if they're going to contribute. And we're onto the flat, 8K to go. $6K to go. Vanderpeet, can you attack and leave this group behind and go solo?
Again, an attack is launched. The group
Alright,
has
well,
to break apart.
now it's a group of 2.
5 kilometers remaining.
Both are struggling, but we're opening up a big gap. Again, I might be giving the race away doing this, but can we get Mouse to do something and recover a little bit? Oh, 2.5K, a little late for the gel. 2K to go. 49 seconds. Yeah, we're good. We're not going to get caught. Can't go yet. Can't go yet. Can't go yet.
There we go.
Not
The
enough
sprint
red
is
bar.
on.
Not
The riders
enough
are
red bar.
setting
There you go.
themselves
Go, go, go. Come on, Vanderpeet. She's way too slow. Way too slow. She'll take second.
Alone
Mouse gets the win.
against all. It
That was
required a lot of
expected.
energy, and he
Sobi,
showed
Mama
he was
Lenti are
above
both
the
here.
rest today.
They're going to just miss the top 3. Rodriguez doesn't hurt the timing. Mouse is going to win the overall. Vanderpeet's going to take second. Hickey, Sobi, Mama Lenti. Really good team result, though not a victory. Just really close.
The riders bringing up the rear have made it through sheer willpower. This stage was a real strength sapper.
The only way we would have beat Mouse there at the finish was if we had a gap. Vanderpeet has no sprint to her, so she needed to open it up. We tried. We dropped 2 riders, but not Mouse. Mouse was the only one that it didn't matter if we, like, Rodriguez doesn't matter if Rodriguez is there. If we drop Mouse, we win the overall, even if Rodriguez takes the stage. Unfortunately, Mouse played it well and does enough to claim the victory. Much stronger, much faster, 69.70 on the sprint, and that's why we tried. Other than the climbing part, much better rider than Vanderpeet. So for what we were up to at the end of this stage, that was makes sense that she won, and we did what we could. We tried, we came close, but we do get second overall. Sobi could be on the podium and is. So Mouse takes the win, Vanderpeet takes second, Sobi takes third, so we get a 2-3. We get 2 riders onto the podium, and then Mama Lenti jumps up out of nowhere to 6th place. Anyway, so what I was hinting at before was that until last season, we had virtually no points. And last season, we got some, but it was very minor. Now, I think we saw that reflected when this season, the amount, the cost for dossier points, for contract points, is a little better. It's bad. It's still very, very bad, but it's a little better than last season and the season before, where it was identical. Those first 2 seasons, it was atrocious. It was really, really bad. So those contract points are huge, because money-wise, we could easily afford to re-sign Vanderpeet and Donadin both. No problem. And we could afford Chloe Dygert or whoever we wanted to go after. Maybe not the best riders, but a lot of good writers we could absolutely afford. Our problem is convincing them to sign with us. In this case specifically, not about the interest level, but about just having contract points, dossier points to go after them. The point that I was trying to make is that unlike the first 2 seasons where it was awful and then this season we're very competitive. I mean, we're 13th in the continental rankings, which, okay, yeah, that's still not great, but 27th in the super prestige. There's 91 teams. Okay, that is much higher than we were, much more competitive than we were. If it was based off of team index, it would be up a lot higher, because after our signings from last season, where we sit right now, heading into this coming dossier period, that's not it. That's totally not it, because we have good writers. And even if you weren't counting those and just counting the expiring, removing the expiring, we're still much better than we were. So why aren't we seeing a big difference? Well, I'm guessing it's based on last season's points total. That's my guess. So the higher your team is placed, the better your team does on the season, the more next year writers are willing to sign with you. So we're into that period. We're in the dossiers, and it's still absurd. It's a little better than it was, but it's still absurd. My hope is that if we're able to stay around 27th this season, or even climb into the top 25, then come next season, we'll be at a much better state. And we still won't be able to get after the best writers, but if they're suddenly down to 50 points each, it'll make a big difference, because we'll be able to go after a much better brand of writer next season. This season, we're still struggling to go after writers that really compare, but it really shows we've improved. 7 wins, and you saw the performance there. We ended up in second place, but it was a good result. It was a good result. It was hard fought. It helps. It boosts the ranking. It boosts the position. Is that what it's based on? I don't know for sure. I've tried to check the forums, and I'm not finding anything on the forums at all about your team reputation. Writer reputation is easy, and it is very much based on results, but it's also immediate on the impact. But one thing I do know about the dossiers is the only way that dossiers change is if a writer and their agent says, oh, they're better now, they're going to cost more points. But otherwise, the baseline that you set that first dossier period does not change. What it cost on May the 1st is the same as what it costs in the middle of July as you're heading into that last dossier, and what it costs in contract points come August 1st. So those things come, they go, they do that. So what we have here, right, is my interpretation at this point. I think it comes down to results, and maybe it's year on year. Final results from last year impact the next year. So our dossiers right now are still being impacted from last year's mediocre results. If that's the case, come next year, we should be able to get after much better writers. We might be able to re-sign Vanderbeek or Donovan in the future. But as of right now, we're totally screwed because their contracts are expiring. Tioli just leveled up to a 71, even though she is out injured. And then we have a 70 in Mama Lenti. Sobi is a 69. So we might not even hit Continental Pro. We might be stuck in Continental another year, which again makes it hard to get a lot of points. But in terms of expiring contracts for next year, 3 of that top 4, excluding the current top 2, are all still a year and beyond, and whoever we sign this year will still be good, and we might be able to get some 73s signed this year. So It's not going to be what we're losing in Vanderpeet and Donadin, but it's definitely setting the stage for a better core of riders near the top. And we're going to have a lot of expiring contracts at the bottom end. There's already a handful that are going to be ready to go and we'll be able to replace. So the team is finally starting to get rid of that group of uncapable riders and getting into capable but not that great. Hopefully we'll hit Continental Pro soon and continue to build, because I would love to see this hit World Tour, and it's definitely taking longer than expected. But it's all coming down to that, who we can go after, who we can sign, and then just re-signing the riders that we're getting. We're not able to do that. They're out developing the team reputation. Oops. Well, anyway, that's going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button. I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. And bye for now.